r/AskReddit. What is one profession that you have absolutely zero respect for? Predatory tow companies. In Toronto it was basically organized crime. There was full-on turf wars between companies where they were setting each other's trucks on fire. It was chaos. The government finally stepped in and did something about it, but I'm sure it's still going on to some degree. There's a lot of scary stuff that goes on in the GTA towing industry. Not sure what to call them, but the people at the top of the MLM pyramids. Personally, I use the word scum. I've been calling them pond scum for years. Payday loan sharks. Edit. This blew up. 29k. I acknowledge there is a need for short-term, high-risk lending. It's the predatory practices that force people into a debt trap that I have an issue with. A while back I could have used a couple extra bucks, so I looked up a few of those places. I make enough that I don't have to use them, but it would have made things a little bit easier. Anyways, one place in particular boggled my mind. They offered a loan of $1,000 and the interest would have come to something like $250 for the loan. I really only needed $500, so I figured I could use the other half to get tires for my car, something I've been needing to do for a while. So I went to sign up, but it's not that simple. When I get there and they explain the loan to me, I just about flipped out. See, I was okay with paying 25% interest on $1,000, but it wasn't $1,000. What they do is advance you $200. You then make payments to pay off the full $1,000 that they lend you. Once you've paid it off, then they give you the other $800. So in reality, you're not paying 25% interest on a $1,000 loan. You're paying 125% on a $200 loan and a forced savings account. Edit. Jesus. I didn't realize this comment blew up too. Thank you for the awards. Whoops, I got ahead of myself here. My ex-wife, against my insistence that she not, got a title loan on her car for $1,800. She paid $300 for 6 months and still owed $1,800. I asked to see the paperwork and it was a 205% 30-day loan. She had to pay the whole thing back in 30 days or she racked up late fees and penalties. When they finally hooked the car months later, the balance was over $6,000. They sent a letter that they had sold the vehicle at auction for $3,000 and that they would drop it and she'd never hear from them again and it wouldn't go on her credit provided she did not come after them for return of the vehicle. Call center scammers. People really have full-time 9-to-5 jobs dialing random phone numbers to steal money, ducking losers. Does anybody actually answer phone calls anymore? It's all spam. If I don't know the number, they are welcome to leave a voicemail, is my policy. Online event ticket buyers, PPL, who try to predict the demand for an event, concert, sports, etc., and bulk buy tickets to resell at higher prices. There's a whole industry with companies built entirely with employees who are bidding and selling full-time. This is known as creating artificial scarcity. It doesn't provide any real value to the economy. Disney had to buy back tickets to Frozen. Speculators bought them and couldn't unload them because demand wasn't high enough. But then people who wanted them from the box office couldn't buy them at the cheaper box office prices. So those seats were just going empty and no word of mouth was spreading. So Disney had to buy back its tickets from speculators so they could put them back on sale to the public. Those recruitment people for fake talent agencies, they do these whole presentations, often in person, to get new actors and models to sign up at the end with an initiation fee sometimes in the thousands. A lot of the people being scammed don't know the company is a scam until afterwards when they look them up on Yelp or the BBB. The recruiter usually seems legit. I don't know how they sleep at night knowing that's how they make the entirety of their income. My old roommate did this for a short while. They would go to a mall as a talent agency and film a short video of people for free, then call them and say they really want to represent them, only they need to take this course to get jobs. They weren't a talent agency. They were just selling these useless courses to gullible teens. Nobody ever got a job through them. He quit after a month because he couldn't handle the guilt. Bro, I could barely handle working at a Wells Fargo call center back in 2012. They hounded you to try selling anything and everything to every person you talked to. Customer has $3. 27 in their account and has overdrawn 15 times in the last 2 months? Better try getting them to sign up for another checking account, which usually had monthly fees, and also get them to apply for a credit card for overdraft protection. Supervisors didn't care. You were expected to pitch something to every customer you talked to. I hated myself every minute I worked there. I can imagine what your buddy felt like because that sounds just as bad. Poachers. I get major schadenfreude when I see an article about a lion killing a poacher. Good kitty. In some places, rangers have taken to just shooting poachers on sight and it's been quite effective. I can't say I feel any sympathy for the twats getting lit up by rangers. To sum up all the answers, con artists. It's a little disappointing because all these answers feel like well no shit. It's more interesting to hear professions some people respect or don't think much about either way. My answer is day traders. Stock trading as a concept provides capital investment that allows a company to grow. But so much of day trading isn't about investment or whatever. It's about predicting trends in order to be the middleman for a few seconds to immediately resell. They provide neither a good, like a drug dealer, nor service, like a prostitute, to contribute to the economy. They just extract wealth from the system. They are parasites. I struggle with the advertising and marketing industries. Like in theory, it's fine and of course you want to advertise your product. Everything has just gotten over the top and manipulative. Televangelists. Give me tons of money and God will reward you. Oh, no rewards yet? That's cause you haven't given a dot yet. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to the kingdom of God. It's funny and also kinda pathetic the mental gymnastics that people will go through to try and explain that phrase as meaning anything other than the obvious interpretation. I don't know if this is a profession in the normal sense of the word, but child beauty pageant organizers, judges, and anyone else who profits from this grotesque practice. It's a felony in France to even plan one. Good. Paparazzi. How is stalking legal for them? It is a snazzy name though. The etymology of the name is quite interesting. Televangelist priests who have hundreds of millions, don't pay taxes, and tell people they don't love God if they don't keep donating. Preach. Have a TV church, but don't scam people out of millions a month. There was one guy, Jesse Duplantis, who told his followers that God wanted him to have a new jet, and they needed to give him $54 million to buy it because his current jet was outdated. Kenneth Copeland defended his jet, saying that he couldn't be expected to get on a crappy plane full of dope heads and demons. Excuse me, you mean the people who you're supposed to serve who send you money? Kenneth Copeland looks like a demon wearing human skin, but the skin is getting old and can no longer hide his true form. IDK, but I hate looking at him. I get a sense of evil and malice emanating from him. I just looked him up and boy you weren't kidding. After that I looked him up on YouTube and watched a video of his with Inside Edition where Jet tries to justify his lavish lifestyle and he is unnerving. The way he talks is like he's trying to fool a child and every question he counters with some BS reply loosely based on a biblical concept. These kind of people who abuse the word of God make me so mad FFS. Unethical animal breeders, e.g. puppy farmers. Animals are literally bred to suffer and live horrendous lives because of them. Mothers are forced to breed at unsustainable rates and are often left malnourished and gravely ill. Their puppies develop serious illnesses very early in life and many of them die within weeks of their adoption. It benefits nobody but the cruel, irresponsible breeders. Always check the background of your breeder before buying your new pet. Don't ducking buy puppies on Gumtree. My wife and I adopted a female dachshund for $50 that had obviously been used for breeding. Although, we didn't know this at the time. None of the pictures showed how malnourished and overbred she was. Turned out she was pregnant and then we had one single puppy a few months later. The mom is living out her senior days happily basking in the sun. We estimate she's about 14, 15 in age. We also still have the puppy as well. Glad we were able to get her and give her a better life. Edit. Welp. Certainly didn't expect this response. I will make sure I give them extra pets for all of you. I'll try to post a pic of them together when I'm home for anyone who's curious. Thank you for the kindness and awards. We did this with a puppy mill pug mama. The operation was shut down and then they spayed her while she was in heat. A horrible thing to do. She bled for weeks. All that reproducing and she didn't even get the dignity of a good spay. When we first adopted her, her legs were bowed from being tied to the side of her cage to make her nurse puppies even when she was too sore to do so. She was afraid of the grass and clearly had spent her whole life on concrete floors. She was the funniest little gal and loved living out her final years with us. We had her for around 7 more years. She was spoiled constantly and ate more Cheez-Its than the average human does. Rest in peace, Winnie. Alternative healers that talk people out of seeking real medical treatment. Also see chiropractors above. In-laws spent $$ because one told them he could cure Sill's type 1 diabetes when she was a kid. She ended up in the air. They had spent thousands. A different one told a neighbor that her cancer could be cured by doing cleanses, having chiro adjustments, and taking some of those voodoo pills. She was gone in 6 months with stage 1 breast cancer. Chiropractors are dangerous. They hold themselves out as doctors, but once again, lack the training of a true physician. Also, neck and back manipulations are insanely dangerous and can cause spinal cord injuries. I'll die on this hill and gladly accept the down votes. Edit, a word. Some local influencer took a video of me walking my dog yesterday by the beach and posted it on her Insta. I looked through the hundreds of comments last night when someone sent me the thing. Many of the comments are vulgar. I think it's a dong move to film someone without their consent for clout. You can get Instagram to actually remove it because if they aren't removing hateful comments and the post itself encourages harassment, that is against their community guidelines. I've reported everything from fake accounts to animal abuse on Instagram and nothing has ever been done. Every time you send a report they might as well send back a caricature of Mark Zuckerberg phallating himself. Call center scammers and RMT boosting companies for gaming. R/classic wow must be leaking. Timeshare salespeople. I remember lying to one and saying that I actually applied for bankruptcy and live with my parents and they're like, well, if you go on 2 vacations a year, it'll be more than what this costs. So it'll be saving you money to get out of the hole. Well, if you buy 2, you can sell 1 and then it's like you are vacationing for free. Health insurance agents that deny health insurance for costs reasons. They shouldn't even exist. If I pay for insurance and my doctor asks for a procedure, it's the job of the insurance to pay. End of story. Edit. I realize it's not the agents selling insurance but the panel or board of the claims department. This happened to my husband. Was denied a prosthetic leg because multiple times because it wasn't necessary for daily life. Duck Kaiser. Insurance repeatedly denied prior authorization for an MRI of my thoracic spine that my neurologist ordered because he suspected I had MIS. Their rationale was that MIS doesn't affect the thoracic spine. That's interesting, because when I got the MRI, in the air, at my neuro's suggestion, because insurance couldn't deny coverage that way, I had an active MIS lesion in my thoracic spine. I don't know how these people sleep at night when their rationale is demonstrably false. People that create artificial scarcity. De Beers is a good case study in this. With diamonds, they created serious market demand through wildly successful advertising and control much of the world's diamond supply. Knew a guy who worked for a company that sold social media bots and other means of boosting accounts. Whatever that job is, I hate it. There was a big issue with this recently involving one of the Bravo channel Real Housewives. Someone used a bot company to spam the IG account of a cast member's son with racist threats the day before his first day of high school. Scalping tickets, electronics, food, toilet paper or whatever else. With cars they're called dealers. Religious leaders who take adv off their followers. I was just flipping through channels and Bet was showing an advert for some preacher selling water that cured people's financial troubles, etc. I can't see how they would sell program time to someone that would hurt their own audience. I've seen these type of promos on other stations also, so I'm not trying to beat up on Bet, but it was just sad. Network marketers, MLM, are the worst. It really is a shame. Sounds like you spend a lot of time thinking about this, which is why you should sell our t-shirt line. Make your own hours, be your own boss, Then you can spend all the time you want hating MLM. People who code malware. 100% agree. Super smart people except they program to steal passwords and bank account info. Get that piece of hair off my screen. I literally wiped my screen 3 times trying to remove it. Gossip show hosts. Not sure if it counts as a gossip show, but TMZ is the absolute worst. A while ago I was flipping through cable channels and came upon this program. Someone was chasing Bruce Willis through an airport asking him insulting questions. He's just trying to get his luggage and get out. Scene switches to an office. A bunch of people holding oversized cups standing around giggling and making cracks about how ugly his hat is. Baffling. People who run puppy farms. They're all dunce. Might get some heat for this one, but real estate agents. As a real estate agent myself, I can confirm some are extremely toxic. Influencer. The whole concept is a scourge, quite frankly. Self-help gurus just MFS that start cults. Not really a specific profession, but people in higher political power who would rather hire family members and close friends with no experience or qualifications than over actual people who are qualified and have experience. That's why nothing gets done in my small community. This is called nepotism, and I agree with you. Absolutely no way to get anything done. Supreme executive powers derives from a mandate of the masses, not some farcical familial ceremony. Medical debt collectors. There is an entire industry dedicated to collecting debt from people who owe money for medical bills. People whose job is to hound those who got sick or injured and couldn't pay for it. Imagine this. Imagine being the person who repeatedly calls a single mom whose kid needed an ambulance ride, threatens to file suit, get a judgment and garnish her wages. Burn in hell. Medical debt collectors. Edited to say, I'm muting this now because weird nerds who think collecting medical debt is good actually have appeared. Go have fun defending an industry that preys on the most vulnerable people in our society, I guess. Politicians. Lobbyists. Influencers. Open bracket. Still not sure exactly what they are or do. My mom met a lady once who said that her job was managing her inheritance. So also that woman. Towing companies. It's a service that is necessary, but their practices are predatory and unethical. They prey on people who've just been in car accidents and rack up thousands from people down on their luck. Anyone in health insurance that denies patients access to seek care or receive treatment. How can you tell a doctor no, this person does not need life-saving medication tests? Televangelist. Pushy salespeople. Yes, went to a mattress store to test out some beds for when I was moving. I was upfront about this and the salesperson got so angry when I decided to not buy anything until after I moved. All he had to do was give me a card, write down the models I liked, and tell me to call him when I was ready. But instead he got loud and angry, and I ended up finding a mattress online. Anyone in the elder care business. I'm not talking nurses or doctors, I mean the people who run the places. My dad has just been put in one. The amount they charge to just be in there is outrageous. Are they spending it on quality food, equipment, medication, or to actually pay their staff to give a duck? No, they aren't. They want you to have $250,000 in the bank just to get in and about 8 to 10 grand a month to stay. How is this legal? No appreciation for anyone that takes advantage of anyone in that respect. Social media influencers. Seems like the goal is to influence people into being narcissists and followers. I don't know if it counts as a profession, but I have less than zero respect for scalpers. But duck those low-life scumbags. Televangelists. It's a scam. Specifically Nancy Brinker, the founder of Susan G. Komen, who cut funding for Planned Parenthood but gave herself a 64% raise 10 years ago. Chiropractors. They're not medical professionals, they're scam artists. Get yourself an athletic or physical therapist instead. Phone scammers, if you can call that a job. Face with a zip mouth. Resellers. I forgot the name, but they buy from Wish and sell triple as much it's worth. Shark fin harvester. Mega church preachers. People who design algorithms that have the sole purpose of, at least, one of the following. Looking at you, Mark Zuckerberg, as you check all of the above. Spreading misinformation, seeing the other side as evil, divide and conquer, selling any type of essential snake oil or products that make bullshit marketing claims, i.e. take this pill and you'll lose 20 lbs. Promoting any form of MLM. Hospital administration. But I have to have respect or I'll lose my job. Lobbyists. Cops, obviously. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.